5 young children are now without a mother. That's because Biden's open border allowed for a suspected gang member from El Salvador to illegally sneak into the U.S. It turns out Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez had illegally crossed once into Texas and then twice into New Mexico early last year. He was one of the rare ones allowed to be deported because he's wanted for the murder of a woman in his own home country. But it appears he was only just deported to Mexico, and so he just kept trying until he got lucky with the open border and became a gotaway on his 4th attempt. Somehow, the 23-year-old made his way up to Maryland, where DNA testing pits him as the prime suspect in the brutal slaying of a jogger on a popular hiking trail. 37-year-old mother of 5 Rachel Morin didn't deserve what happened to her next. She was dragged off the trail where she was brutally raped and murdered. The suspect was later tracked down to a bar in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where he was arrested and charged. And if you're wondering how he's able to just be so mobile everywhere, just know that he's also accused of a home invasion in Los Angeles, California, where he allegedly assaulted a 9-year-old girl and her mother. DNA likewise placed him at the scene of that crime. I wonder how many mileage points he's racked up on Biden's Midnight Flight Express. But in all seriousness, Biden is not letting something as inconvenient as murder get in his way. It's like after Benghazi went down under Obama's watch and he called those 4 dead brave Americans bumps in the road. In Biden's confused mind, which had to be guided off stage by Obama over the weekend at a fancy fundraiser in LA, in his mind he already solved the border crisis with that pathetic executive order from the other week. But that solved the border crisis only in the same way that he defeated inflation, which is to say, the exact opposite is true. And now the word is that the administration will unveil its amnesty proposal tomorrow called Parole in Place. It would allow about 1 million illegal aliens to stay in America and to obtain work permits as long as they've been here for 10 years and are married to an American. It's proposals like this, along with DACA, Obamacare for DACA now, health care for other illegals in states like California, driver's licenses, and all the other perks, which attract millions of illegals here in the first place, murderers included. And recall how there is a renewed push to fix our law enforcement and military recruitment crisis by filling the ranks with illegals in exchange for citizenship. I know that already happens on a limited scale, at least for non-citizens, not exactly for illegals, but that was working off the assumption of assimilation in small numbers. But now society is changing to accommodate the non-citizen instead of it being the other way around. And we're being swarmed in numbers. Because remember, we're told ad nauseum that our culture is evil and needs to be entirely uprooted and replaced. So that doesn't bode well for our fighting force. The idea of the volunteer model is that patriotic young men sign on the dotted line to protect their women and children at home. But if the first part is no longer entirely the case, then so too is the second part of that sentence likewise imploded. Because now the Senate Committee on Armed Services is proposing amending the Military Selective Service Act to require women to register for what effectively could become the draft again if the situation gets dire enough, as part of the National Defense Authorization Act for the upcoming fiscal year of 2025. Joining us now to discuss all this and more is former law enforcement officer Mike Pugliese, founder of the Pugliese Law Firm. Mike, thanks for being here tonight.
Kara, thank you for having me. Yeah, I feel like I'm sleepwalking through this nightmare. Welcome to the Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. And that's what we're living as, legal American citizens that's trying to be law-abiding and just hold on to our traditional American values. Yeah, Obama started this back in 2012 with the Dreamers Act. It was a way to buy votes. And Joe Biden knows he's tanking. And more than that, Obama and the Democratic Party, they know that he's tanking. And that little video clip where you showed Obama grabbing Joe Biden's wrist and escorting him off the stage, well, there's a lot of truth in that. Not only that Joe Biden is demented and he's senile, but that Obama's running the show and his cronies are running the show. And they're buying votes by legalizing these illegals that are coming across our border. And what's going to stop them? You're offering these illegals. I'm not going to call them undocumented. They're illegals. And you're offering them free housing, free medical, and $2,500 a month to take care of yourself to subside on.